Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Kendall. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to be going over my March TBR. It's a big one. It's a very highly ambitious TBR, but I think I have found out that I have not been reading the books that I have put on my TBR. I've mostly been reading what I feel like, what I'm in the mood for. And so my TBRs are just, here's what I start out the month feeling like I want to read, and then my wrap-ups are here's what I actually read. So get prepared to see all the books that I might read, but it literally could go either way. I actually want to go ahead and start this TBR by picking two books from my mug. That is my 23 reads from 2023. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I did a thing, which I'm not doing a February wrap-up yet. I don't think. I might end up doing one, but I have mentioned this in an Instagram story and on the community tab of my YouTube page, but I am taking like a small break in March, and I won't be posting as much content. Basically, I have 3 pre-recorded videos that I am going to put out at some point in March, but those are basically the only 3 videos that I have planned to get out during that month. I have had a lot of schoolwork come up, and it's just taken a toll on me, and it kind of stressed me out, and I'm coming up on ending in the month of April. I'll be done with this semester of school, and I'll be applying for my spot in the radiology program at my school, and I have to just make sure I'm doing my best and that I'm focused on that, and then hopefully in April I'll be able to make like a better comeback, or in May because I do have exams in April. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if you don't see me for a little while, it's just because school and life in general have just taken its toll on me for a little bit. So we're trying to take a little break and focus on what's important right now for me, which is school. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for being supportive of that and understanding. Everybody's been so sweet and kind and giving me encouraging words. But anyway, back to what we were originally doing. So I have been picking 2 for these for each month, just because I have 23 books in here, and you basically have to do 2 a month if you want to get them read, you know, throughout the whole year. So last time I picked Wondersmith and The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, which I did read The Last Time I Lied, but Wondersmith I just felt like I was not in the mood for. So I ended up putting it back, and I drew again, and I drew The Lost Apothecary, and I was very excited about that. The author, Sarah Penner, is actually coming to close to where I live, and so I did want to get that book read before March when she comes, so that I can go to that event with my friend Olivia. So I ended up picking that one out. So those are the 2 that I have read, and then I'm going to see what I'm going to be reading this month, which I also skipped out in January, so I'm going to have to add like an extra for 2 months, but it's okay. Okay, here's the first one. These make me so nervous. Okay, I like this. Okay, so the first one it picked is The Grace Here by Kim, I think it's Liggett, I don't know, but I've actually been wanting to get into my young adult fantasy era again. So this book is kind of hard to explain. It's supposed to be kind of like a dark fairy tale in a way, very haunting, and a lot of action goes on in this book. But the author of The Diviners, Libba Bray, actually like blurbed this book and said she loved it. Saba Tahir blurbed it, Melissa Albert, so many people. But they just said that this one is like eerie, but in a good way. So it says, in Garner County, girls are told they have the power to lure men from their beds to drive women mad with jealousy. They believe their very skin emits a powerful aphrodisiac, the potent essence of youth, of a girl on the edge of womanhood. That's why they're banished for their 16th year, to release their magic into the wild so they can return purified and ready for marriage. It says, with sharp, gritty prose, The Grace Year is a story of survival and freedom, about fighting for what's right, no matter the cost, and finding hope in the darkest of circumstances. So there are poachers that come come after these girls while they are sent away, and it just sounds so creepy. And I just love the cover. My friend Kayla actually picked out this book for me to buy at one point when we just basically went book shopping, her, Olivia, and I, and we were like, we're each picking out a book for each other to buy, and that's what you have to read. And I still have yet to read it, and that was like a year ago. So I'm so happy that this one was chosen. Okay, we're picking one more out of here. I get so, probably like so stupidly nervous from picking these out. Okay, well, picking this one. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm actually so excited about this one. So it chose A History of Wild Places by Shea Ernshaw. Ah! Literally, these picks could not have come at a better time. I feel like these are perfect for right now. So I read my first Shea Ernshaw book last year. I read The Wicked Deep, which is a young adult fantasy, and this is supposed to be an adult thriller, and I just love the color of this book, the like tan aspect of it with the really dark blue, green, teal going on. It's like one of my favorite colors. So I'm so excited about this, and so many people who have similar reading taste have loved this book, so I feel like I'm gonna love it as well. It says, Travis Wren has an unusual talent for locating missing people. Hired by families as a last resort, he requires only a single object to find the person who has vanished. When he takes on the case of Maggie St. James, a well-known author of dark, macabre children's books, he's led to a place many believe to be only a legend. Known as Pastoral, this reclusive community was founded by like-minded people searching for a simpler way of life. But soon after Travis stumbles upon it, he disappears, just like Maggie St. James. Years later, Theo, a lifelong member of Pastoral, discovers Travis's abandoned truck beyond the border of the community. No one is allowed in or out, not without the risk of bringing a disease, the rot, into Pastoral. Unraveling the mystery of what happened reveals secrets that Theo, his wife Calla, and his sister Bee keep from one another. Secrets that prove their perfect isolated world isn't as safe as they believed, and that darkness takes many forms. It says, A History of Wild Places is a story about fairy tales, our fear of the dark, and losing yourself within the wilderness of your mind. I have been wanting like a good thriller haunting story, and the fact that this and The Gray Shear are two of my picks, I can already tell it's going to be a good reading month. Like, I love when I get a TBR and it's books that I'm actually, like, I know that I'm going to read these. So you can expect these to be in the wrap up for sure. Another thing that I've been trying to do, which I kind of didn't do it last time, is this 12 Recs by 12 Friends. I did it the first month when I read Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. That was recommended to me by my friend Hope. And last month I was going to read The House in the Cerulean Sea, which was recommended to me by a few people actually, but I just didn't get around to it. I tried starting it, but I just was not in the mood for a cozy fantasy. I really wanted like a dark book, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm still kind of in the mood for a dark book. So I'm glad that History of Wild Places is on there, because that's probably what I'll start out with. But I have two books that I'm adding to this TBR to hopefully get through that. Both of them are on that list, so it's like catching up. It's just 12 books, so I wanted to do one a month, but it's no big deal if I don't get to do that. But the first one is Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. Most people know that I absolutely loved House of Salt and Sorrows, and I literally cannot wait for House of Roots and Ruin to come out. Literally cannot wait. So I have not read this by her. It's time that I read it. The cover, stunning. The inside, stunning. We love the yellow. We love it. But she has a way of writing such beautiful lyrical books, but they're so creepy, or they're so weird or mysterious, and I just love it. I literally do. Give me all the weird things. So this one says, Ellery Downing is waiting for something to happen. Life in isolated Amity Falls, surrounded by an impenetrable forest, has a predictable sameness. Her days are filled with tending to her family's beehives, chasing after her sisters, and dreaming of bigger things, while her twin Samuel is free to roam as he wishes. Early settlers fought off monstrous creatures in the woods, and whispers that the creatures still exist keep the Downings and their neighbors from venturing too far. When some townsfolk go missing on a trip to fetch supplies, a heavy unease settles over the falls. Strange activities begin to plague the town, and as the seasons change, it's clear that something is terribly wrong. The creatures are real, and they're offering to fulfill the residents' deepest desires, however grand, for just a small favor. These seemingly trifling demands, however, hide sinister intentions. Soon, Ellery finds herself in a race against time to stop Amity Falls, her family, and the boy she loves from going up in flames. Do I even need to say anything? Like, I don't understand. Like, people have to love Erin A. Craig, right? Because she's amazing. I literally cannot get enough of it, and oh my gosh, I want to start this now. Like, right now. The other one I'm adding because my friend Jordan over at Sorry Book Solid recommended it to me, and this was like her favorite book of last year, and I knew I had to read it. I have been trying to get more into the sci-fi genre and read some and find what kind of works for me in that genre, and Jordan is like the queen of sci-fi. I trust her Rex. I feel like we probably have very similar taste when it comes to books like that. So I am choosing to pick up The Measure by Nikki Erlick, I think is how you say her name. I really want to read this. Look how pretty. A lot of people, it says that this one is a high concept novel. This one is a compelling story. It's original and mysterious, clever logic, a strange, familiar new world. So I'm very excited. It sounds amazing. And actually, I don't think I've ever read a book that is from the Read with Jenna book club. So I will be interested to see if this is something that I like and if I should try and pick up more out of her book club. So this says, 8 ordinary people, 1 extraordinary choice. It seems like any other day. You wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and head out. But today when you open your front door, waiting for you was a small wooden box. This box holds your fate, the exact number of years you will live. From suburban doorsteps to desert tents, every person on every continent receives the same box. In an instant, the world is thrust into a collective frenzy. Where did these boxes come from? What do they mean? Is there truth to what they promise? As society comes together and pulls apart, everyone faces the same shocking choice. Do they wish to know how long they'll live? And if so, what will they do with that knowledge? The measure charts the dawn of this new world through an unforgettable cast of characters whose decisions and fates interweave with one another, best friends whose dreams are forever entwined, pen pals finding refuge in the unknown, a couple who thought they didn't have to rush, a doctor who cannot save himself, and a politician whose box becomes the powder keg that ultimately changes everything. Enchanting and deeply uplifting, The Measure is a sweeping, ambitious, invigorating story about family, friendship, hope, and destiny that encourages us to live life to the fullest. I love a sci-fi book that I know will make me think, and I think this is exactly what I'm going to look for. So I'm very excited, high hopes for this one, and I cannot wait to read it. So I'm not going to talk about this one much because I feel like people already know that I'm reading this. I started it and I got about 100 pages into it last month, but I just never finished it. Perfectly great writing. I'm absolutely enjoying it, loving it, but again, I'm kind of getting into a slump and I want to get out of it, and I think I'm in the mood for something dark and twisty and mind-blowing, or something that's just really easy to understand, like romance, where I don't have to think and it's just the story is given to me. So anyway, I'm taking over Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia Fairies by Heather Fawcett into March, and I'm hoping to finish it then. I did, again, really enjoy it, but I'm hoping that once I get through some of the books that I have on my TBR that are what I'm looking for, I'll get back in my reading mood and I'll be ready to get into this one. This is probably the wrong book to add to a TBR when I literally just said that I'm in a slump, kind of, but I'm doing it anyway. It's time. It's literally time. So I'm going to be reading House of Sky and Breath, which is the second book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. This one, oh, y'all, I can't even, I'm trying not to look at the pages. Don't want to look at the pages. Yeah, because I don't want to see, I don't want to know the twist or anything like that. I'm just wanting to see how many pages it is. 801. 801 pages. Whew. I think what I'm going to do is try to listen to or read and listen to 100 pages a day. and I think that's possible. So I could at least get it done in like a week, a little over a week probably, and that's going to be the goal. I did pretty well finishing House of Earth and Blood in a week, so I think that I can do it with this one. But everybody's been talking about, you know, we don't know when Sarah J Maas is going to release the third book. She has said it's going to be this year. We don't know. She keeps posting things, and, you know, I think it's, what's Bloomsbury, or is it a different publisher? Bloomsbury. Have they been putting out things about, like, paperbacks of this coming out and different things, so they've kind of been toying with us and, you know, moving things around, but everybody loves this book, and they said the twist in it is just absolutely crazy, and I just need to know. I need to know, and I need to make sure I read it before I get spoiled for it. So that's what we're gonna do. I would tell you a little bit about this book, but it definitely, you can't know much about it without reading the first one. Basically, I'll read you this part. It does say, in the sexy, action-packed sequel to the #1 New York Times bestseller House of Earth and Blood, Sarah J Maas weaves a captivating story of a world about to explode and the people who will do anything to save it. I think we get to follow a Rune, which is Bryce's stepbrother, I think. I don't think he's her full brother. It's either her step or half-brother. I think it's her half-brother. And we got to follow Bryce a lot in the first book, and I think we get to follow Rune more, or know more about Rune in here. And everybody's always like, I know you like Hunt, but Rune, I'm telling you, Rune. And I'm like, I really don't think anybody's going to deter me from Hunt, but we will see. Another book that I am reading, which probably will not take me long at all. It's only 216 pages, but it is called The Blue Line Down by Maris Lawyer. She is actually one of the sweetest humans. She reached out to me on Instagram. She knows the kind of books that I like to read. She's been watching my channel, interacting with me during live sprints and things like that. And she knew that I had been wanting a book that was kind of like the same vibes that you get from Where the Crawdads Sing. I love, and I also like Outer Banks, things like that. I really love the southern vibe of books. The setting that people write with southern states is just gorgeous, and it makes me feel like I can relate to it so well because I live around the things that they are writing about. So I'm definitely going to pick this up. She was like, I'm wanting to send this to you. She wanted to send this to me. She didn't. She told me she did not care if I mentioned it in a video. She did not care if I read it. She wanted to send it to me, and she was so sweet. And the fact that she took the time out of her day to do that, I'm gonna read it. It says, Jude Washer wants to run, away from the coal mines where he is destined to work, away from the memory of his mother, away from his father's abuse of his little brother. Whispers of unionizing ripple through the small West Virginia mining town. The mines take Jude's brother away from him, and Jude takes matters into his own hands. With nowhere else to go, Jude joins the Baldwin Felts Agency, a band of violent men dedicated to stamping out unionizers across the mountains. It is 1922, and the Baldwins are poised to raid a mining town in Virginia. When the coal miners fight back against the agents, Jude, now 24, and Harvey, a new recruit, take an opportunity to flee amid the bloodshed. With the Baldwins on their tail, Jude and an injured Harvey make their way down the mountains, where they are intercepted in South Carolina by a ragtag gang of bootleggers who put them to work to pay off a debt. Jude is desperate for a place to call home, but can he find it in these hard scrabble hills among strangers? It sounds so good, and look how beautiful this cover is. Oh my gosh, it's like all my favorite colors. And I don't typically read books that are in a man's perspective or a guy's perspective, but I have found that the ones that I have read are pretty good, and I do like them. So I'm interested to see my thoughts on this book after I'm done. So I have been trying to read manga more each month, and this month last month I ended up reading a lot because I was just in the mood for it, but I really want to pick this one up and start this series and just get into it because I finally found the first volume of this book floating around and I had to pick it up, and it is The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 1. Olivia knows that I like dark, creepy, eerie things, and she said this one would be perfect for me. It says, once upon a time in a land far away, there were two kingdoms. The outside, where twisted beasts roamed that could curse with a touch, and the inside, where humans lived in safety and peace. The girl and the beast should have never met, but when they do, a quiet fairy tale begins. This is a story of two people, one human, one inhuman, who linger in the hazy twilight that separates night from day. First off, it sounds adorable, and I love creepy, eerie, and adorable things, so I know they don't go together, but it is what it is. So I'm very excited to read this, and I hope that I can keep collecting the rest of the series, and I just feel like this is going to be a favorite. I'm also, again, wanting to add another cozy to my stack. I did not get to read a cozy mystery this month, and it literally made me so sad. I tried to pick up Pride, Prejudice, and Peril, but again, since I was in a slump, it was just something I was not in the mood to read, and I just have been running out of time trying to finish the book that I have felt like reading, so I just ran out of time and didn't get to read it, which was sad, and I didn't get to participate that much in the Cozy Hollow Book Club, but I still support them. I still think you should read it. I'm keeping it because I definitely will read it and go back and listen to the discussion that they have on it so that I can relate to them. But this month I'm going to be picking up Daisies for Innocence by Bailey Cattrell. This is the first in an Enchanted Garden mystery. Look how cute. Look. I don't know how much you guys, I don't even know if you guys know this, but spring is my favorite season ever. I just love that it's like, you kind of get in the warmer weather, but you get the breeze going, and you get to wear like short sleeve shirts, and you know, it's just so nice. And then when you have rainy days, it just feels like you can sit down on your porch and read. The rainy days aren't like cold, they're just really nice and relaxing. So that's probably why it's my favorite season. But this book I feel like is going to make me want it to be spring so bad, and I feel like March is the perfect time to read this. It says, Ellie's life has blossomed in Poppyville, California since she's opened Scents and Nonsense, a custom-made perfume store. Her skills with aromas and botanical essences, some from her very own garden, seem almost supernatural. Her perfumes can evoke emotions, bring about change, or simply make people happy. Customers are flocking to the store to buy her wares or just to sit in her beautiful garden, sip tea, and enjoy homemade cookies. But she smells trouble when she learns that her part-time assistant Josie is dating her ex. And before she can tell the young woman to beware his charms, she finds Josie dead in the enchanted garden. Now the prime suspect in Josie's murder, Ellie, must search for the real culprit in Josie's past, because it'll take a miracle to nip this problem in the bud. You get it? Bud, and the flowers in the garden. Oh, it's too much. And there's a corgi, and there's a cat. It says everything's coming up roses until someone's pushing up daisies. Y'all, I literally cannot handle it. But I feel like this one is really good, and it's a series. I don't think did I buy the second one? I swore that I did. Maybe I didn't. I will at some point. But it's also only a little over 300 pages, so I feel like this will be a quick, easy read for me to get to, but I'm ready for some spring reads. And we know it is technically middle grade March. So if you guys don't know, Krista over at Books and Jams, she loves middle grade so much, and she does a thing called Middle Grade March. And Middle Grade March is basically where you try to read as much middle grade as possible. That's how a lot of people take it, is they spend most of their March reading middle grade. I'm not a huge middle grade reader, but I do like spooky middle grade, and I do like some of the like really in-depth middle grade that takes a lot more brain power. Like, it'd be older kids that would need to read it, you know? So there are prompts for middle grade March that you can follow and read. And for this year, those prompts are: read an award-winning book other than the Newbery Award, read a sci-fi, dystopian, or apocalyptic book, read a book with sky or sea on the cover, read a book with a neurodiverse character, or read a book that was published in the last year. And you can read the group read as well. It's a sci-fi book, but you can also read whatever you want as long as it's middle grade. So I'm kind of doing that and picking 2 wild cards. So I have been wanting to read the Small Spaces series for so long, and I want to get to this one. This is by Katherine Arden. This is the first in the series, and I also have Dead Voices, which is the second in the series. And I want to save the third one for something special, so that will be coming later, but I want to make sure that I get these 2 read before I read the third one, and so that's what I'm going to be doing in March. This says, at night they will come for the rest of you. It's with this ominous warning that 11-year-old Ollie and her two friends Coco and Brian set out on a chilling adventure in the woods with nightfall fast ascending and the ever-watchful eyes of scarecrows on their backs. What had begun as an unremarkable school trip to a nearby farm soon becomes a frightening journey into the world behind the mist. In order to survive and not remain trapped there forever, Ollie and her friends need to be quick on their feet as they work to unravel a 100-year-old mystery, save their classmates, and beat the villainous smiling man at his own game. Y'all, this is creepy. It's like a fall-y, scary, creepy. There's scarecrows and stuff, so I don't know about this, but I feel like it'll creep me out. But this feels like Scooby-Doo in a way, but scary. So I'm excited. And this is the second in the series, and it says, don't listen. Having survived the sinister... I mean, you had to know they survived. It's kids. It's not a spoiler. Having survived the sinister scarecrows and smiling man in small spaces, newly minted best friends Ollie, Coco, and Brian are ready for a relaxing winter break skiing with their parents at Mount Hemlock Resort. But when a snowstorm sets in, causing the power to flicker out and the cold to creep closer and closer, the trio begins to see and hear chilling, spooky things. Their fun-filled trip is quickly turning into another terrifying encounter with another dimension. In this haunting follow-up to Small Spaces, Ollie, Coco, and Brian must rely on their friendship and sharp minds if they want to survive their next harrowing adventure. Look how creepy it is. It reminds me of, like, The Shining. And then, I hope you guys are ready for this, the last book. Well, the last 6 books I'm adding to this list. It'll be easy. It literally will. Because for these books that I'm adding, they're all graphic novels, and they are part of the Let's Get Graphic Readathon. It's going to be hosted by some amazing women. That is Gwen over at Gwendolyn Kinsinger or Lavender Mud, Keisha from A Book Like You, and Elizabeth from Ponytails and Paperbacks. So it's basically a graphic novel readathon. You can read graphic novels, comics, or manga for 24 hours. It is from March 3rd through the 4th, and they're going to be doing a live reading sprints to, you know, keep it going and just kind of hype it up, which I will definitely be joining in for. And this is open to everyone, and they have 3 prompts, and they also have 2 photo prompts if you want to, you know, get involved with those. But I picked out 2 books for each prompt because I'm trying to read as many graphic novels basically as I can within the readathon. And I think I'm going to start out with 6, and if I can read more, great, but I think I can definitely get through 6 in 24 hours. So the first prompt is to read a book with an animal in the title, on the cover, or in the story. So the first one that I'm choosing for this one is The Seance Tea Party by Reimena Yee. This one is so stinking cute, and everybody told me to wait till fall to read it. Well, fall came and passed, and I didn't read it, so we're reading it now. Also, the artwork in it, so freaking pretty. It says, growing up is terrible. No one has time to play outside or use their imagination or do anything fun. Who wants that? Not Laura. She's determined to still have fun even after her friends all seem to fade away with their new interests and new friends. A magical tea party introduces Laura to Alexa, the ghost that haunts her house. Alexa will be a kid forever, but what will happen as Laura continues to get older? I feel like this one might make me tear up a little bit. It might be a little sad. It might be really, like, mind-blowing, but I'm very excited for it. It looks really cute. There's a bunch of, like, made-up animals on here. Like, up here, we have some made-up animals coming down here. I don't know what they are, but they're animals, so that will be one of them. And the second book I picked for this is Be Prepared by Vera Brosgol. My sweet bestest friend Olivia got this book for me as a congratulations, because if you did not know, I hit 1,000 subscribers, and I did hit over 4,000 watch hours. So I got to apply for monetization on YouTube, and it was very great and very happy, and I'm so excited. And so she bought this as like a congratulations for me, and it was very sweet. Something she did not have to do, but is much appreciated. And this one literally has 3, if you can see, chipmunks down at the bottom. But look at her. I love her. I don't even know what her name is. Vera, duh. So I'm excited. Like, it looks very green in here, but I love green, so it sounds so cute. And it The synopsis is a note to her mom. It says, "Dear Mom, camp is nothing like I expected. I know all my rich friends back home think I'm weird, but I was sure that at Russian summer camp, everyone would be like me and we'd sing songs and eat s'mores and be best friends. Nope. The girls in my tent are 5 years older than me and they do not want me here. This camp has no electricity, no plumbing, and absolutely no candy. And the outhouse, I can't even think about that outhouse without gagging. I can't survive 2 weeks of this. Please come get me. Please, I'm desperate." I love her. I want her to be my sister. I love it. Okay, the next prompt is to pick a book with your favorite color palette, and I love this one. I literally, whoever came up with that one, chef's kiss. The first one I'm going to be picking up is Hollow by Shannon Waters, Brandon Boyer White, and Berenice Nelly. This is a retelling of the Shady Hollow, or the Tale of Shady Hollow, but it has a lot of like dark blues and going into greens, and blues and greens are my favorite colors, so I had to pick this book to go with the palette. And I've been highly anticipating this for so long, and when I found it, I had to get it. It says, Izzy Crane and her family have just relocated to Sleepy Hollow, the town made famous by and obsessed with the legend of the Headless Horseman. But city slicker skeptic Izzy has no time for superstition as she navigates life at a new school. Ghost stories aren't real after all. Then Izzy is pulled into the orbit of town teen royalty Vicky Van Tessel and varsity-level prankster Croc Byun. Vicky's weariness with her family's connection to the legend turns to terror when the trio encounters the horseman himself and uncovers a curse set on destroying the Van Tessel line. Now they have only until Halloween night to break it, a totally inconvenient time for Izzy to develop a massive crush on the enigmatic Vicky. Can Izzy's practical nature help her face the unknown or trip her up? As the 31st approaches, Izzy will have to use her wits and work with her new friends to save Vicky and solve the mystery of the legendary horseman of Sleepy Hollow before it's too late. I love Sleepy Hollow. And not because of Johnny Depp. And the other one that I'm also picking up for this is Lightfall, The Girl and the Guardian. I love this. It's like a soft pastel green going into a yellow, and I also really love yellows. Also, the back cover is really pretty. And look at them. Look how cute they are. Gosh. The graphic novels, I feel like every time I go in there, they get cuter and cuter. This one says, deep in the heart of Urpa stands the Salty Pig's Tonics and Tinctures, home of the wise pig wizard and his adopted granddaughter Bee. As keepers of the endless flame, they live a quiet and peaceful life, crafting medicines and potions for the people of their once prosperous world. All that changes when Bee meets Cad, a member of the Galdurians, a race thought to be long extinct. Cad believes that if anyone can help him find his missing people, it's the Pig Wizard. But when the two arrive home, the Pig Wizard is nowhere to be found. Fearing for the Pig Wizard's safety, Bee and Cad set out across Urpa to find him, while danger fights its way out of the shadows and into the light. Can this reluctant duo get their act together in time to save the world, or has Urpa truly seen its last sunrise? I love it. And it's so stinking pretty inside. I seriously, this graphic novel readathon cannot come quick enough. Okay, and the last prompt is to read a book with a one-word title, which worked out for me because I had like 3 different books I could have chosen. So I am going with, the first one is Sheets by Brenna Thummler. Everybody loves this book. It was a Barnes & Noble Best Book of 2018, and the artwork in it to me is really cute. And like, I love the pastel colors. It's just really pretty. And everybody just says that this one is so good. And I think the sequel of it just came out. If it didn't, it's been out for a little while, but the sequel also looks really cute. It's called Delicates, but look at it. It says, for Marjorie Glatt, being 13 years old isn't quite the same as it is for everyone else. Responsible for running her family's laundromat while trying to survive middle school, Marjorie's daily struggles include persnickety customers, snippy classmates, agonizing swim lessons, and laundry. Always, always laundry. Wendell is a bit different too. Wendell is a ghost. His daily struggles include dead youth support groups and unavoidable stains. But when he escapes from the land of ghosts and bumbles into Marjorie's laundromat, the perfect ghost playground, his attempts at fun and friendship begin to harm the family business. Sheets is a powerful story about a young girl's perseverance even when all odds are stacked against her. It shows that forgiveness and second chances can result in unlikely friendships. Above all, it is an invitation into an unusual, haunted laundromat that brings family, friends, and yes, sheets to life. That was perfect. That was enough said. And the next one, which I also know is going to be quite moving, is Ghosts by Raina Telgemeier. Again, I love the artwork in this one. It's just really, really pretty and detailed. But I've heard that this one is so hard-hitting, but I feel like I love it. Again, everybody's always like, you haven't read this yet, read it. So it says, there's something different about this town. Katrina and her family are moving to the coast of Northern California because her little sister Maya is sick. Kat isn't happy about leaving her friends for, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, for Bahia de la Luna, but Maya has cystic fibrosis and will benefit from the cool, salty air that blows in from the sea. As the girls explore their new home, a neighbor lets them in on a secret. There are ghosts in Bahia de la Luna. Maya is determined to meet one, but Kat wants nothing to do with them. As the time of year when ghosts reunite with their loved ones approaches, Kat must figure out how to put aside her fears for her sister's sake and her own. So, I don't know what's going to happen in this. I am very nervous, but I love when a book features somebody with a chronic illness because it's just, there needs to be more neurodiverse or diverse characters in books. So, I'm so excited to get to it. Oh my gosh, I just counted them. I have 17 books on that TBR. Okay, go ahead and make your bets on how many books I'm going to actually read this year out of the 17. I'm going to say 10. I'm going to say 10. But we will see. That's just my guess. But anyway, I hope that you guys were able to get to know a little bit if you didn't know about the Let's Get Graphic Readathon or Middle Grade March or anything like that. If you were wanting to do like 23 books for 2023, stuff like that, I hope you were able to see some things that are new or get some book recommendations out of this video, because I know that is like the best thing about TBRs. I find so many recommendations, so I hope you were able to do the same. But thank you guys so much for watching and just being here. And again, thank you for being so supportive and encouraging as I take a very small break, and just understanding and telling me that you will be here when I get back. I appreciate you all so much, and I love you all, and I will see you guys in my next video.